This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Ask Sarah with Sarah Wiseman, where you'll learn to awaken your divine intuition and open your human heart. Sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh and learn. Here's Sarah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Sarah. I'm Sarah Wiseman. Today, sorry we had to miss the show last week. As a lot of you guys know, weather was crazy all over the U.S. and here in Oregon, where I live, we had a pretty mighty ice storm that took down thousands and thousands of trees. They're calling it the worst disaster that the place that I live has ever seen. And so we are under national disaster, and I was out of power for 7 days, and some people are still out of power here in Oregon. And of course, we know that other people across the U.S. are suffering also. So nature is making itself known. I always felt that the trees were my friends, and I still feel this. I still feel a massive heart connection to the trees, but understanding that in the midst of such, we've had the fires, we've had now the ice storms, and in the midst of all of life, everything changes, everything grows. And when it gets too big or too old, some of these massive oak trees just felled to the ground. It's this constant change. This is what we are here to experience. Nothing stays the same. Nothing is as it was. The flow is, sort of the way of things. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. I do want to talk about our topic for today. What does it mean to surrender to the universe? Learn why ego, I have my notes here, ego is not a worthy guide and is no match for the wisdom of source. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And last week, we would have talked about, does law of attraction work? And we're going to talk about a new law beyond law of attraction, which is, of course, law of flow. And these two subjects relate perfectly to each other. I want to just cover a little bit about this so that you'll get what you missed last week. And want to remark on today is Free Readings Tuesday. And so you can go call into the show, 844-390-8255, 844-390-8255. And I am super happy to answer your questions. And these can be, psychic questions about your own life. I'm happy to answer that. But what I love to answer also is for those of you who are intuitives or mystics or empaths or sensitives or seekers, what's your experience in the world right now? How are your gifts opening up? Or maybe they're a little stuck, or maybe you're experiencing some new things, or maybe weird stuff has started to happen. So I'm especially interested in this conversation for people, all the sensitives out there who are feeling this change and this swirl of everything that we've been going through. So again, call in 844-390-8255, 844-390-8255 to Free Readings Tuesday. Let's see, housekeeping. What we have going on now, we've got our March course has just opened. And so every month we do a monthly spotlight. You can sign up for the $15 courses anytime, but when we do them together as a group, it's more fun. So our March course is called the Chakra Project. something like 7 mantras for healing. So this course is actually created by my husband, Dr. Steve Koch, and he is a master healer for decades and decades, and he is a sound healer, musician, and so he has created this astounding course, the Chakra Project, that teaches you how to open all of your chakras, and you can do this by using mantra that he has recorded, and also some mudra, which are hand motions. And so these techniques, it seems pretty simple. Oh, you'll just go into meditation and do a mantra. But what happens vibrationally, how these things begin to open you, are just astounding. One of the immediate things that always happens for me when I'm doing this type of sound healing or mantra work is the emotions get released. It's just the first little tip. We think that we're going to go up into other dimensions, and we do, but anything blocked in the heart or that needs to be opened always comes to the surface. And when we're doing this kind of clearing, that's where growth can happen. If everything's stuck, we just sit there in this stuck pattern. When we clear energetically the chakras, things start to move and we can move along in our lives. So the Chakra Project, it's $15. It's on the website, sarahwiseman.com. The other thing to do is very soon, next week, we will have our March Divine Astrology report. And if you would like to receive this free to your inbox, you can go to sarahwiseman.com and you can go ahead and sign up for that. It's free, no obligation. Sign up if you like it, keep going. If you don't, unsubscribe. It's a monthly channeled report that I do, and a lot of you guys have been seeing. I've been doing this for about a year. So it's a pretty interesting process of going into divine space and asking the guides, what's happening, what's going to be coming along for us in the coming month. So let's just look at a couple of these ideas. And again, free readings Tuesday, 844-390-8255, 844-390-8255. And we're going to be going to the phones in just a moment. But let's talk about, we're going to combine the two episodes. What is law of attraction and what is law of flow? These are the same idea of surrendering to the universe. Law of attraction, which has been around a long time, The Secret, Thoughts Become Things, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, very famous. So all of these ideas have the concept that we can attract what we want. We can bring it to us. If we want money, we can attract it with the power of our thoughts. If we want fame, we can attract it. If we want a new house, we can attract it. If we want a new job or a new car or a love relationship, we can just put on our magnetizing magic and attract it, right? So that's been around a long time. But where we are now, in terms of our evolution, that is an older system. Some of you are still using it. You love it. Great. That's fine. That's working for you. But a lot of you are like, I'm using that and I'm not really seeing what I thought I would, or I used it and it didn't work, or I used it and it did work and I did not like the results. So this is because law of attraction is based on attracting what you want from the space of your ego, mind, personality. Thoughts become things. And where we have evolved to is we're not trying to attract to us. It's like we don't know enough as ego, mind, personality to know what we really want. We actually don't know what our best, highest potentiality is. So instead, the new way, better, interesting, more fulfilling, more meaningful way is law of flow, in which we allow the universe to attract us to our highest potentiality. So it's different. Instead of grasping what we want, demanding, I deserve, I need, I get, I want, we're allowing the universe to be in charge and taking us to our highest potentiality. And the universe is always attempting to take us to highest potentiality in terms of our soul growth, our expansion as beings, in terms of our understanding ourselves as souls. And so when you are sitting around in law of attraction saying, I want this house, maybe the universe is saying, yeah, we'll give you the house if that's what you want, but actually the house is going to be a big hassle for you, and you're going to get stuck there, and you're not going to have the experiences that you actually need. And what we would really like you to be attracted to, this is just an example, maybe it's resonating for some of you out there, but what we would like you to be attracted to is we want you to go travel, or we want you to have an apartment so that you have less need to work, and then you have more free time, or we want you to go do house sharing with someone so that you'll have some interesting roommates that you're destined to meet as soul partners. So again, we grasp law of attraction, and it doesn't mean we're grasping the best thing for us. It just means we've got this idea in our mind or ego of what we think we want. And of course, so much of our mind, ego, personality is really running on mainstream scripts or dominant culture scripts, or the shoulds we had from when we were kids. This is how it's got to be. When we open it up to this idea that the universe has things well in hand, and that we are being attracted to our highest potentiality, we can just follow along in the stream of flow. And we know we're in stream of flow when everything is easy and effortless and fun. Even in times of such world trauma that we're in, there is a path that's easier and smoother. And law of flow, allowing ourselves to be attracted to, and again, allowing ourselves. And this comes to the idea of this week. So this week's idea, what does it mean to surrender to the universe? What does it mean? And what it means is that we let go of needing the ego to be in charge. It's a hard thing, right? We just let it go, and we allow what is happening now to be what's happening. We let go of our ideas of how things need to be, or how things should be, or where we think it should happen, and we're just surrendering to the universe and letting the universe drop in those synchronicities and strands and spiritual breadcrumbs. We just follow along. And I started working this way. Now, I was joking with Cameron, the producer, earlier today about my need to have control over every little detail, because I'm not very good with details, so it helps me. But when I started to let go of the bigger picture, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I here for? And just let things emerge instead of trying to create them myself, that's when things started to get really interesting. The universe, as it turned out, had a lot of surprises in store for me, and has these for you also. And life just became so much less constrained, and so much more interesting, and so much more fulfilling to follow the synchronicities, to follow the strands, and just let things emerge rather than have a preconceived idea that I was working toward. So let's go to the phones now. And again, you can call in to Free Readings Tuesday. It's 844-390-8255. That's 844-390-8255. And it looks like we have Shauna calling from Denver. Shauna, welcome. Let's see, I can't hear Shauna yet.
Can you hear me?
Shauna? Yes, now I can. Perfect. Thank you. Well, good. So
Yay.
nice to have you on the show. Yeah. What can I help you out with today?
I've been trying to sell my house and move, and I'm wondering if you see when you see me moving, maybe, or am I not supposed to move? I'm kind of starting to question that.
Yeah. And you live in the Denver area?
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting because lots of people are moving or wanting to move, and lots of people are wanting to move to Denver, right? So, or Denver, Boulder. I'm hearing that, like, yeah. I mean, that's probably the second spot I'm hearing the most about. The first is more like the Santa Fe, Sedona, that Arizona, New Mexico, that kind of area is first what I'm hearing, where people are trying to go. Why are you trying to move? Because I do wonder if maybe you would think that things would have happened already. So tell me more about what your intention is.
Well, my intention is to buy a 5-acre farm and open up a metaphysical school and a healing center. And so I'm looking to the Midwest because the property is a little cheaper there. So I could buy it with my equity. So that's my intention, but I think I'm being told something different now because it's not selling, it's not happening.
And have you lived in the country before?
I lived in Illinois before, yes, before I came out to Denver.
But I mean, like on acreage, have you done that lifestyle before?
No.
Yeah. Now, if you didn't go to do this project, what's your second? I think I'm feeling the nudge is not like it's so interesting. We were just talking about letting the universe show us, where we're really going. If you weren't going to do this project, what's your second? What's the next idea that you have?
Well, part of it is it's kind of like a holistic healing thing that I want, and to also bring music to do outside concerts, on the farm, and teach people how to, get them growing their own food and taking it all the way to canning, and because it's a lost art, and people are going to have to go back to this. I see that it's going to be a need for us, that we have to take charge of our own food. So I just thought that the universe would be supporting me in this.
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing is, that game, what I'm getting, so when I get a question, I put up what I call a guiding vision. Like the people that train with me and stuff know what I'm talking about, but I put up a clairvoyant vision in my third eye space. And I also listen from the guides, and it's absolutely feeling, I'm getting the vision of, the old game hopscotch, where you throw your little rock onto the hopscotch form, and then you have to hop around and skip particular squares where the rock is. And it's feeling like there's something about the direct path from you to 5 acres is too hard. Like it sounds good on paper. The vision itself is very inspiring. I commend you. And it may be too much to take that jump all at once. Just the sheer idea of getting used to 5 acres and getting used to country living, and also trying to attract people to the Midwest, which isn't necessarily an easy space to get lots of metaphysical people easily there. So
Right.
what I'm seeing is looking at doing this a little bit more in stages. And I know maybe it's not, what you were hoping for, but it's almost like if you could go and spend some time working with somebody else that's already doing part of this, either as working for them or just almost like doing an internship, and just kind of watching how they've got it, like almost like partnering with some other people first before you take the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I'm hearing is there are some skills you don't have that if you go there and try and create the wheel all by yourself, it's not going to work. But if you do a little more training with people already doing some of the stuff already, then you're going to have success. So, and I'm also not sure that the Midwest is where you're going to go. It feels like when I look on the map, it seems like you're more west than the Midwest. So
yeah, I originally was looking at like the Northwest, Oregon, Washington area.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I'm getting that kind of I'm getting that kind of Washington area.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it's called. It's maybe called, one area I'm getting is the Skagit Valley, but I'm not sure. But it's Washington is what's coming up for me too. So here's how I would approach it. Do you have a meditation practice? Like, do you know how to work with your guides?
Yeah, I just feel like I've been so uptight that I don't feel like I'm connecting right lately.
Yeah.
So that's
it's been a lot of stress, a lot of strain, and kind of also the feeling a lot of us have, myself included, is just like, I gotta move. Something's gotta change. And that's because all the constrictions we've had from, the pandemic, and it's like we want to create change, but change isn't here yet. So I do think it's possible to sell your house in by March, like by April or May. That seems easy, but it feels like then there's going to be almost like a gap time, or even a gap year, where you're partnering and searching and kind of traveling around looking for the next step. It's not going to be sell your place, pop into the 5 acres, go. It's going to be a more meandering journey. And the reason is because there's things you need to know so that you will be successful with your vision later.
Okay.
It's pretty exciting. It's just that there's a lot of,
and I've wanted this for so long.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm really to the point of total frustration.
Yeah. So
and so I know that's blocking my flow.
Yeah. So I think that what I would do is take it into meditation and say, okay, what if I just sold it and understood I'm doing my plan, but I'm going to let the universe guide me on my plan more than me trying to figure it out in a certain way, and allowing that it's going to take some time to resource it. Well, keep us posted. I appreciate you calling in, and it's a great plan, and it sounds like a very interesting project. You. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're taking more free readings Tuesday. Lines are open, so you can call into 844-390-8255, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hush, hush, my child, and they say, hush, hush, my child, and they say, hush, hush, my child, and they say, angels are gathering around me, rocking around me, rolling around me. Angels are gathering around me, flipping around me, tripping around me. Angels are gathering around me, crossing around me, crowding around me. Angels are gathering around me, hopping around. They say, hush, hush, my child. They say, hush, hush, my child. And they say, hush, hush, my child. And they say, hush, hush, my child. And they say, come to take you home. I'm coming 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 to take you home.
Alrighty, we are back with more Ask Sarah with Sarah Wiseman. Call in. Free readings Tuesday to 844-390-8255. And it looks like we have Janice calling from Tennessee. Janice, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be able to talk with you, Sarah.
Thank you. And we love to hear your beautiful voice. I love the Tennessean, Tennessean, I don't know the accent.
Sweet.
Yes, wonderful. Well, tell me, what can I help you out with today, or what's going on in your life?
Well, I have had several years of lots of turmoil, and none of my family is speaking to me. Although I have what propelled some of this, my son passed away 4.5 years ago. And that really propelled me into seeking, wanting more. And I told the first person that answered the phone, I did start looking into your things and have taken several classes. And after my son passed away, I just wanted so much to be able to connect as much as I could. And this whole thing about having guides and angels, maybe I could have bought, but I was just getting irritated, Sarah, is what I was getting, because I thought, really, I'm supposed to just know this person, and I was just getting mad at God all over again too.
Yeah.
And I needed to go. This was a few months after he had been gone, and I had to go do something. I had to meet a workman at his house. I was getting it ready to rent and so forth. And I had listened to one of the tapes about meeting your guides and so forth, and then nothing happened, and I was just mad. And so I got in the car. I had to get over there. I said, really, God, really, I'm supposed to know what this being looks like? And it just sounds like this is ridiculous. And when I drove in my son's driveway, the next door neighbor's little 4-year-old boy, a little African-American, cutest little kid with plaid boots on, they were washing the car, came out, and it smacked me in the face. That was who I was looking for. And I have some of us have still been in a bit of a glass white world. I have some African American friends now, but that was several years ago, and it was the sweetest thing. I know God spoke to me, and that little guy is really special to me.
So your son's passing, how old was your son when he passed?
How old was he? 42.
Yeah. I think that sometimes inconceivable loss moves us to change in ways that we couldn't ever imagine that we would change. And I think
Yes.
it's extremely common to be super mad at the universe
Mhm.
and at God. And, yes, of course, because we're faced with the pain, and yet we also know it's part of the bigger picture. And at the time, it just feels so unfair. It feels so unfair that we have to
Mhm.
go through it. But in this
Right, and
case,
none of it made sense. And it's not that it really makes sense now, but it is. I'm in such a different place.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
really grateful for the experiences. But there is one thing, a financial thing with his estate that's never been finished. Do you see anything happening with that? It bothers me that it's never been taken care of.
yeah. Well, so I want to go back to this idea that you said that you weren't speaking to any of your family or fighting with them after all of this happened.
Well,
And so I want to just kind of put
Mhm.
what's happening for you into a bigger perspective. What's really happening is that your son's passing acted as, sometimes people will have an accident, or they'll get ill, or there'll be a big trauma like the loss of someone, and this will open them up. And this is what's happening to you. And if you don't connect with guides and angels, that's no problem. You can connect with nature or your heart or just
Mhm.
everything. It doesn't have to be this particular way. It's a way that I like, but not everybody's the same. But
Right.
when you become awake, and then your family is staying kind of stuck where they were, or not
Mhm.
awake in the same way as you, so this is going to take some time, and it may be a gift to have separation from your family, because then you're finally free
Mhm.
to explore some other ideas and to live a different way, especially if you're in a family that was kind of having just one way, as our way or the highway kind of family.
Yes.
It
And
may be.
and because of him and someone that when I knew, I sat and watched television for a year,
Mhm.
and I knew he wouldn't want that. And I have heard from him, and I do hear from him, and I have a completely different life
Yes.
from what I had before. And I have met friends that are like-minded, and I'm
Mhm.
in a small little church with really open people.
Yeah.
And I have a really completely different life that I really like,
Yeah. And so
and love the people around me. So
don't worry too much
I
about.
don't.
Yeah, don't worry about the family. Just let that, don't even try and convince or fight, or just let it be. It's almost
Well,
like
and
you.
see, I haven't. A couple have said no. I'm backing away. So I've honored that, and I'm not trying to do anything.
Yeah.
So
It's as if you've gone on a
that's
journey or moved to a different country and they haven't come with you, and they're on their own journey, so it'll be okay. Now, really,
right.
really briefly, tell me what the financial thing is, because I don't see any issue there. That feels super neutral or complete already, but tell me briefly what that is.
Okay. His estate and pension and all that has never been finalized.
Mhm.
It's all just kind of hanging in the air. And God bless her, my little daughter-in-law, they were separated for a couple of years, but I love her dearly, but she can't deal with it. And she was dating someone else. She had been gone for they'd been separated for a couple of years, but remained friends. And they're both just very kind, wonderful people. My son was just the finest person I've ever known. And so they were friends, but they were not legally divorced.
Mhm.
And so she is the only one that can do that. And she actually had been dating someone else who ended up, Sarah, committing suicide while she was on the phone with me.
Oh,
So she
but
has
she's
been
in.
turned every which way to,
Yeah.
and she doesn't want me to contact her either. I love her dearly, but I've left her
Yeah.
alone the last couple of years.
Yeah, she's in trauma still. And is there
Yeah.
any reason that you would have money coming in from this estate that you think? Or
Yes, because she and I talked about it.
okay.
Because she didn't want any of his things. That was the kind of person that she is. And but before, I mean, all of that happened to her before she was able to do the paperwork.
Yeah.
And she does want some of that pension, and that's fine with me. I don't think either one of us are selfish in that regard. I just really think it should be finished up. He worked for the state, and they wanted it finished, and so now it's just all kind of in limbo.
Yeah. I think that, what are we in now? We're almost in March. I wish I could say earlier, but I don't think anything gets wrapped up until July. And it's almost like she needs the hope of spring to come, almost like she's in depression, she's in trauma. She needs a little bit more time before she can face it. But then when she faces it, it's quite simple. It's pretty cut and dried, really.
It really can be. And see, I am considering actually talking to an estate lawyer to talk her into.
I think so. What I'm seeing is that, like, you can talk to someone.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, you can talk to someone and get advice on any claim that you have. And then you might even suggest to her that she uses a similar attorney or the same attorney. But that is the only, like, you don't talk to her about any details. You're just offering her the resource, and that's it. And you're pretty much, you don't talk to her. It's more painful for her to be in contact with you. And so it's a gift for you to not be in contact, and just trust it all works out. But nothing really happens till July. If you press earlier, it's going to backfire. So, connect with an attorney for your own information, but then just kind of sit with it. Okay, Janice, things are.
I don't want to hurt her, more.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
She has said, I don't want to have to think about him.
Yes, she needs some time.
So
Janice, I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you go. So thank you so much for calling in, and we appreciate. And
thank you. Do you say anything about my daughter and my relationship? That's the only one I would like to have in.
You are going to be separate from family for a while. So just go with that and trust that everyone needs time. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for calling in. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Janice brings up some really good points that, when we have all this trauma, things don't stay the same. They change. And this idea of the universe taking us to our highest potentiality, in her case, taking her to more opening, more expansion, there is the temporary loss of the family connection, but that's because the family has to grow. The individuals in the family has to grow, either in similar ways to Janice or in different ways. We have time for more callers. Free Readings Tuesday, 844-390-8255. Lines are open. If you call in now, you'll get a spot. 844-390-8255. And I think we've got Kira, I think that's right, from Minnesota. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is it Kira? Is that correct?
Yes, it's Kira.
Okay. Perfect. What can I help you out with today?
So I'm just in a big, state of transition. I'm 7 months pregnant and just found out that I will most likely be transitioning from my job at the school where I'm working as a kindergarten teacher. And so I'm just really in this kind of inquiry of a natural transition. I'm just open to what is to come, but I'm also trying not to step into the fear mentality of losing security and losing what I know and the contributions that I've put in towards this towards this role. So,
Is this your first child?
this is, yes, it's our
Yeah.
first child. Yep,
Excellent.
due in April. Yeah, we're
Nice.
really excited.
Yeah, that's super fun. And so the job is sort of going away. It's not there as you thought it would be. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's in a state of flux. So I could apply for a job in a different school in the same district. But there's movement, there's opening.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering where I should put my attention.
And
if I should really.
Yeah. Would this job be for spring or for fall?
It's for fall.
Okay.
So I'm completing the school year. I would be completing the school year, but I'm thinking about whether I should go back to teaching in the fall.
Yeah. It feels like the universe has given you a gift of having less pressure with this new child coming. I don't feel that there's any reason, that there's any, dire reason, like the baby's fine, everything works fine, there's no problem there. However, having a first child is really, at least for me, and I raised 4 kids, but at least for me, it was super intense. And having more free time, even if it's for, a couple months or a year or whatever you can get, is pretty amazing. So it feels like this has come because it's a gift. And I think that if you were to apply, you would have something by fall in some way, in some district, in some kind of position. But you may want to, if you're financially able, just to kind of linger with that until, the baby arrives and you have a better sense of how you're going to be feeling. It feels like you might have a year off, and you are incredibly happy that you choose that, even though it's financially, a little tighter. And I'm not saying this from any, moral position of what I think like women should stay home or women should work. It's actually, it's not coming from that. I'm just looking at the pictures that I see of you, and I'm not seeing you. I'm seeing you, if you go back in fall, being pretty stressed. And I'm seeing you, if you give yourself more time, other things open up and it's a different situation that's better. So how does that feel to you, that idea of just giving yourself some more time of not working?
Yeah, that is, that's a big opening for me.
Yeah.
It's very different. Yeah, very different than my kind of current state of mentality. Was like just work, and I recently just finished graduate school too, so it's been a lot of it's been just a lot of focus on it. So
it is really true that with at least for me, it was very true that this idea that when the baby comes, you don't sleep, and it's hard to take a shower, and it is a lot of transition. So allowing yourself to really ease into that would be a pretty amazing gift, instead of piling on more of the pressure and piling on more of the stress. It also feels like, what did you do graduate school? Was that for teaching also?
No, I studied holistic health.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering how to transition into more of my soul purpose and just work that makes a larger impact.
Yeah, so that's what I was seeing also this opening, this not working, then you're able to have the time to create either something you do by distance or something you do part-time or some kind of intuitive or holistic health, in this field, some kind of offering along with the new child. They're both sole purpose. Being a teacher is a sole purpose. Being a holistic healer is a sole purpose. It's just, it feels like this gap, like when we talk about the universe setting things in motion and following, that is sort of where things are going. So it's okay to let the teaching go and to move toward the other field that you're called to. And that's what will happen. It'll be pretty easy to set something up that's really flexible, that allows you to work with, raising a family and so forth. So yeah. And you don't need to know what it is now. The main thing is you're going to have the baby and take some time off. And then as you have the free time, it will start to become clear to you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I heard the news today and I was like, whoa. I also wanted to just share. I write a mindful Monday post for all of my staff. And I share inspiration from your wisdom and your oracle cards.
Wonderful.
And it resonates with so many people, and I've been doing this for a year, and it just has uplifted our community a lot. So
Good. Well, people need support, that's for sure. Hey, thank you for calling in. Appreciate your call, and good luck to you. It's all going to be good. Thank you. I wanted to close out today this idea of letting the universe lead. This is from Messages from the Divine. When you let the universe lead, you exist in divine flow. Thus, you can allow this to happen without fear, without worry, or without need to plan and plot and control. To live in flow will take you so much further, so much faster that you might ever create by yourself. To harness yourself to the power of pure light will create in you such greater understanding, such greater joy than what you can build in the constructs of your own human mind. Imagine if you are an ant working on an anthill, and you are taken up suddenly into human perspective, and you see suddenly how big and fast and extraordinary this life experience can be. Things you cannot even imagine are possible. Things you cannot even comprehend are real. Miracles are the way things are all the time. As you begin to learn how to be in the now, you are automatically and intrinsically placed at the very center of flow, the marvelous river of energy that carries you to your next experience, and your next, and your next, each experience broadening and opening and expanding yourself as a being into the greatest understanding and experiencing of light. When you let the universe lead, you allow yourself to let go of control, which is, of course, all illusion, and attach to the true reality of flow. And in this way, you are automatically brought to experiences that are far greater, bigger, richer than you might have chosen on your own, or that you might have ever been able to comprehend or to imagine. The universe contains mysteries and miracles that are not in your imagination, and yet these are also available to you when you choose to live in flow. And that's from my book, Messages from the Divine. Okay, guys, sign up for the Chakra Project, our course for March, $15 at sarahwiseman.com. Sign up for Divine Astrology, our free March channeling direct to your inbox at sarahwiseman.com. And I'm going to be with you next week for more Ask Sarah with Sarah Wiseman and more free readings Tuesday. Thanks for listening.